Hey y'all, come on in, come on in. Welcome to Grandma's Castle. Kelly Castle here, Grandma here. How are all my bright, bold, and beautiful beings doing today? Oh, I'm very excited because it's the first day of another month in this wonderful year. So did y'all watch my first 3 videos? I love you, loving yourself, and Grandma was a drug addict. And I hope you did, because the reason that I did those was to lay the groundwork for this channel, to let you know that I love you, I want you to love yourself, and it doesn't matter who you are, what you're doing, or what you did, okay? And I'm here just to be your grandma, and to give you the love of a grandma, the unconditional love that we all so desperately deserve and need. So that's my job here. I'm not going to try and fix you or tell you what to do. I have lots of other places for you to get that information because I do share it. But here, I just want to be your grandma, and I don't care how old you are, okay? It doesn't matter how old you are. I can still be your grandma. Even if you're older than me, okay? Because I am being a grandma to somebody right now who is older than me, because, you know, grandma equals love. So I just want to love you. So today, I'm excited because I want to tell you a story. And that's one of the things I'm going to do here. I'm going to tell you stories about my life, and there'll be fun stories and interesting stories and sometimes ugly stories. But I want to tell you a really fun story today about the sharks. The sharks in my life, because I live in a tropical paradise. So once upon a time, I was living in a hotel right on the beautiful white beaches on the Gulf of Mexico in Southwest Florida. Whew, it was gorgeous. My hotel room was on the 2nd floor, right on the beach, and it had a balcony. You walk out onto the balcony, and you look, and there was sand, the beach, the water. And I lived in the hotel for a month. So the balcony access went off the bedroom and the living room. It was a suite that I stayed in. I was very, very lucky. I was blessed. This was not too long after Grandma had a stroke. It left me blind. And without this time spent on the beach, boy, it was major part of my healing. So I was staying in this hotel room, and in the bedroom there was a sliding glass door right beside the bed. And every night when I would go to bed, I would leave the glass door open and just close the screen so the bugs didn't get in. And so I could hear the waves. I could hear the water. And it was just beautiful and peaceful. It's just a very quiet and private tropical paradise. Well, I did this every night, but one morning I woke up early in the morning. It was early, and I'm not an early riser, and there was noise going on, and I just wanted to sleep. I wasn't worried about the noise. It was unusual. It woke me, which was unusual for that time of the morning. So I just stood up, I closed the slider, I got back in bed and went to sleep. I slept for probably maybe another hour is all I slept. And I don't know, maybe it was the continued or increased noise that woke me up this time, but when I walked out onto the balcony and looked down at my beautiful white, usually deserted sandy beach, there was crime scene tape, people everywhere, people wearing hazmat suits, large garbage bags, obviously filled with something, but I didn't know what. So I was in shock, because you see crime scene tape and first thing you think of is a crime, and that usually doesn't exist where this hotel is. So I looked down, and there was the general manager right below my room. And so I yelled down, "What happened?" Well, evidently, a gentleman, a tourist from Germany, decided to take an early morning pre-dawn swim far out into the Gulf of Mexico. And he was attacked by a shark. The shark got his knee. The man got away. But when he came up onto the beach, evidently, all the blood that he dripped, that's why there were hazmat suits and crime scene tape and people collecting the sand because there was blood everywhere. And I slept through all of that part. Thank goodness they had all of the gory part cleaned up. The man was hauled off to the hospital. I just heard about the aftermath. And boy, that day, it just, the excitement increased. And actually, later that evening, while I was there on scene, which remained a scene for a while, I was interviewed by the local news. I don't know if it was ever on the news because I wasn't watching TV at the time. But yeah, it was pretty exciting. And a couple days later, I was walking down the beach and there stood a man with a bandaged knee. So I took a chance and I said, "Hey, are you the guy?" And yes, that was the man. And we talked and he explained to me that Germany's a very small country. He was pretty much a superstar over there, being on the news everywhere in Germany. And he did plan to return, and he did plan to go back into the water and go swimming after he healed. But I hope he learned the lesson about when sharks feed, because you do not want to go out into the water at dawn or at dusk, which leads me to my next shark story. Because after I left the hotel, I checked out of the hotel, I moved just a little ways up to the beach into a condo for several months. And the condo was on the beach. The window faced the beach. And it was on the second story too. So I was actually in the condo. And this was after I lost my vision. I was in the condo looking out this huge picture window over the Gulf of Mexico. And I saw a school of sharks moving down the coastline, very close to the beach. I couldn't believe what I was seeing, but you could almost hear the music from the Jaws movie in the background because they move like sharks. And I don't know if I've ever seen a pack of sharks like that, or a school of sharks, or whatever you call a herd of sharks. There were several of them. So I ran outside down the flight of stairs through the swimming pool area to get to the beach from this condo. That's how far I was, and from where I saw the sharks. When I got down there, there was another man and his kids were running down. Did you see that? We all started yelling. Did you see? We all had seen the sharks. And so we ran down the beach with the sharks, and they were so close to the shore that I was shocked. I lived here for decades by the time this happened, and I had never seen sharks that close to the beach. I had lived on the beach at this point for nearly 2 months or more, and this was my first shark sighting. So of course after that I was out there looking. That was so exciting. And the sharks were very exciting, but that young man and his little boys, that made it even more exciting to be able to share that moment with them. So sharks are real, and if you go into the water, there are lots of things out there. Sharks aren't the only thing I've seen out there. I remember the first time I went to the beach all by myself as a single woman, and I went swimming, and I walked right into a huge school of stingray. Anyway, that's another story. That's a stingray story, and this is about the sharks. So what I want to tell you about the sharks is don't be afraid of them. Don't be afraid to go in the water because they're sharks or stingrays or jellyfish or whatever's in the water. Don't be afraid of anything, okay? But don't go in the water when it's feeding time either, Just be aware. So That's my exciting shark story. So keep your eyes open because you never know what you're going to see. It's a wonderful world out there. And if you're blessed to live as long as I am, you're going to see and do wonderful things. As long as you believe that you can, then you will. So how did you like my shark story? And what do you want me to talk about next time? Let me know, because I don't have anything planned, but I'm sure I will think of another exciting story to tell you. But until then, remember that I love you just the way you are, because you are bright, bold, and beautiful. Bye.